I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the City of Meridian Solid Waste Advisory Commission regular meeting for August 23rd, 2023. It is now 4 minutes after 4, and we'll start with roll call. Please identify if you're present. James Leckie.
Here.
Megan Larson.
Here.
Sean Keating.
Here.
Taryn Richmond. Mark Nelson. Scott Walters. And Steve Corey here. We'll move on to ex officio members. Rochelle Klein.
Here.
Quorum being present, we'll go ahead and move on to consideration of the draft agenda. Are there any comments on the draft agenda?
Mr. Chair, no comments. Move to adopt the agenda as written.
Been moved and seconded that the draft agenda will be approved as written. Are there further comments? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote, all those in favor of approving the agenda as written signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? The motion passes. We'll now move on to approval of the draft minutes for the July 26th meeting. Are there any comments on the draft minutes?
Mr. Chair, no comments. Move to approve the July 26, 2023 meeting minutes as written.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the draft minutes for the July 26th, 2023 meeting be approved as written. Are there any further comments? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote, all those in favor of adopting the draft minutes for the July 26th meeting as written signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The motion passes. Thank you. With that, then we'll move into staff program reports. The item under staff program report is recycle the fall event outreach. Sarah.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that we're starting the outreach now. We've sent out, which will be next month, the MUBS insert, and then we'll start the update, or the website's already been updated. And then we'll start doing social media, and so just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And that's, if you have any questions or want to talk to anybody about it, I would recommend going to the website because has all the information and the most up to date. And also, I know Taryn's always been interested in getting the word out to HOA. So there is a flyer that HOAs or any groups, you could print it out or email it to them, and it has most of the guidelines and also the listing of where you can drop off leaves. So just giving you a heads up on that, even though, we still have a month and a half away on that event.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions on the recycle the fall event?
Mr. Chairman,
Rochelle.
I just wanted to add that, again, this year, Conrad usually oversees Break Up Meridian. And so we'll be partnering with the city again this year. We buy the bags, and then people through the city wind up with Conrad, and he organizes the teams and the bags and the actual raking of the event. So that's happening again this year. So help seniors and people who can't break their own leaves. So if anyone wants to put together a team, you can reach out to Conrad.
Thank you for that. Based on our agenda, kind of looking where there's kind of report of members on various activities, this seems to be the best place for that to be present. So I want to report back on the movement on the FY24 fee proposal that was presented to City Council a couple weeks ago, and they received it. The next activity for that is going to be a public hearing, which is scheduled for September 5th at and that'll be during the regular session. So that would be in the evening at 6 o'clock. And basically, as far as feedback from the council members, one council member mentioned that they were disappointed in the fee increase, but that they were not surprised that a rate increase had to occur at this time. There was a comment about wanting more transparency from the county on finances. But other than that, it was pretty much just a procedural receipt of the request. And as mentioned, the next activity will be a public hearing on it. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on into old business, a little bit of fun. We've got an art subcommittee update, and I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I apologize in advance for my voice. Try to get through this quickly. So the reclaimed art contest closed last night about 11 o'clock. We held it open as long as we could. We received 2 submissions, both in the adult category. So a little disappointing that we didn't have broader participation, but we can consider additional outreach or ways that we can reach more folks about the contest if we decide to go forward next year. But for this year, we did receive 2 submissions in the adult category. I sent an email out to the commissioners today and just polled for the winner of our adult category submissions. The judging criteria was creative use of repurposed, reclaimed, or recycled materials. And the application submitted with the pictures provided descriptions of the materials used. Craftsmanship and overall presentation and aesthetics were the other criteria for judging. As I said, I polled all the commissioners. I've received 5 responses, not for, 2 of our commissioners are out of town and likely did not get the email, but of our 5 commissioners, we had a unanimous decision, and the winning piece is called Celebration at Meridian, submitted by the artist Deb Pence. So if the commission accepts that winner, approves that winner, we will ask her to bring her piece to the art fair that's on September 16th, and we'll provide her with her prize bag at that time.
Thank you for that report. This is new ground for us, so I'm not sure we have any additional action at this point. Am I wrong? We need to go ahead and accept the report. Do we need to ratify the vote or anything?
I think for transparency, I'm probably accepting that for the vote, it would be appropriate.
Okay, would I correctly be stating that as does the commission let's see, the motion would be for the commission to go ahead and accept the report.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion would be that the commission accept the report. I'll take that in this odd case that the chair being a member can make the motion. So is there a second to that motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the report as given. Is there any further comments on that motion?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I would just like to commend Sayard for the excellent work that she did in creating the form, working with the departments at the city so we could collect those submissions, working on the social media posts and working with the arts department on outreach and so forth. So she put in a lot of work and did an excellent job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Further comments?
Mr. Chair, thank you, Larson and Sarah, for that. That was really cool.
Further comments?
I just want to say, yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting and I'm looking forward to, kind of seeing how this season goes and make some changes for next year if you guys decide to do it again. But yeah, the pieces were definitely intricate and looks like they took time to make them.
Further comments? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote. All those in favor of accepting the report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed signify by saying no. The motion passes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Larson.
So before we move on to the next item, if I could just, the community art party will be on September 16th, which is a Saturday from 5 PM to 8 PM. We've asked our artist to get there at 4:30 to bring her piece. I will be there for the event and we'll be able to man the booth that SWAC has. So if there's any other commissioners that would like to participate in that, I encourage you to do so. It would be a good opportunity for us to talk about recycling and so forth with the community, and then also just kind of spread the word on the contest for folks to look for it for the next year if they're interested in participating.
Very good. I plan to attend. So you said be there at 4:30? Okay. And where's the booth going to be?
The specific location of our booth, I don't know, but I will be sure and share that with the commission.
Okay.
When I have it. I just had a flyer on it. Never mind. Yeah, it is, the address given is Generations Plaza, which is where the fountain is. I will share via email a reminder about the event and then also the specific location of our booth.
Okay, so be looking in your email for a little bit more details, but at least for right now, we know Generations Plaza, 4:30 on September 16th. Unless there's anything more on that one, I think we can go ahead and move on to new business. And
Chair, I have a quick comment.
yes,
Did you say 4:30 or 6 for the rate, the public notice?
oh, I said 6 for the rate.
Yeah, that's going to change to 4:30.
4:30.
Yeah, it
Okay.
just changed. Yeah, just a heads up on that one.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
That is for September 5th still.
Yes. And the art party starts at 5?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Sayard, the party itself starts at 5. We did ask our artist to get there at 4:30 to bring her piece. So I will be there at 4:30 to meet her.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Larson, do you have a picture of what the art looked like that we could see?
I can forward the email to you if we want to like bring it up on the screen. I'd have to turn to Sayard to do that.
I can do that while we are talking about HHW. If you want, we can circle back around.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is new business. And this is on the Household Hazardous Waste Program for Ada County. Background on that is that the county has stated that they intend to go ahead and issue the RFP for the Household Hazardous Waste Program for FY this January of 2024. It will go out before the county SWAC meeting in January. So the only opportunity for us to guide the county on getting the RFP the way that we would want it will be at the October meeting, which occurs before our October city SWAC meeting. So backing up from there, we have this meeting in September to go ahead and kind of coalesce our thoughts about how we'd like the household hazardous waste program to run. But by the end of the meeting in September, I know I personally would like to make sure I know everything that the commissioners would like in that request for proposal. I don't think we can complete that today. I expect this to continue until next month, but maybe there's some general framework that we feel at this time about the household hazardous waste program as it was. And I guess just understanding the county seems to be acknowledging the fact that it's a good program and they want the program. They're just bringing forth the fact that their legal department has asked them to back away from the liabilities that are associated with the collection portion of this. So I think there's going to be a great deal of receptiveness. So definitely put on your thinking caps and go ahead and express any kind of wish list items we want for this. But at this particular point, I'd like to just open the floor for comments on the county's household hazardous waste program and what commissioners would like to see it be next year.
Chair, I just want to add that, just so you guys know, staff is actually working and will be working with the county to kind of understand what the RFP will be and working on our end to see, different scenarios, what would work and what wouldn't, what could the city afford or not afford, which we don't know yet. So staff are working on that and, we'll be hopefully having good communication with the county on what's going on. So for me, it would just be helpful to kind of hear your guys' thoughts on what type of stuff you guys are interested in. I know one thing you've voiced several times, and I agree, it's, obviously it depends on funding and everything, but a second site somewhere, completely different, opposite of this site. So both, community or the whole community can be served easier. And I know the site now is pretty busy for Meridian. So that's, that is something that we'll look into, but just so staff is definitely looking into this, and we'll keep you updated once we know stuff too.
Mr. Chair, just my understanding from our last meeting that indicated that Meridian citizens are using it, that the diversion rate from where that was high. So, I would imagine keeping it the same, or I've used it many times and I think it's a very, very useful entity. So I don't know how to change it, but I just think what they're doing now at the transfer station are doing an excellent job.
Mr. Chair, nothing particularly new, but I think it is a well received service in the community. That's important to folks. It's always busy on those hours, and I agree with Sayre, the second location, if we're making a wish list, with the understanding that the city can only do what it can afford. But I think we see with other types of services, people are more likely to use it when it's convenient for them, when it's easy to access that service, when the location is convenient or so forth. So I think a second service a second location, you'd probably have for participation for folks that are maybe not currently coming to the transfer station because it's too far from the part of Meridian where they are, the traffic or something like that. So putting it in a different location, I think you'd see an uptick in utilization.
Chair, I just want to let you know, she's not able to communicate, but she is able to hear, Taryn.
Oh.
So she just let me know that, yeah, she's not able to get on for some reason to speak.
I guess it's taking me a bit of a time to understand where we're at this particular point. And it's kind of been enlightening on this. Boise has, I don't know about, well, Boise goes ahead and rotates through a couple of locations on different days, so that over the course of a month, they go ahead and collect on maybe 10 or 11 locations. And then every Monday, the truck is at our transfer station. So we get roughly 4 collection opportunities here in Meridian at this particular point. And so based on that fraction, 4 out of the total, that reimbursement is partitioned out for Meridian. And of course, that's the portion of our monthly rate for our households that is set aside for household hazardous waste to finance Meridian's portion of it. So one would hope when we go forward that it would be proportional to that number if we have a second location or have some additional collection days in Meridian. Obviously, it depends on market forces, and I'm not sure right now when this goes out what kind of bids we would receive. But yeah, we currently cover the cost for collection on Mondays, excluding holidays. And so if we increase that, it'll just kind of be a percentage increase, hopefully. It's reasonable, but that's just kind of additional background. Again, are there any comments by commissioners that they want us to be aware of as far as desires for the program? The question's been asked to me, it's kind of in the past. Originally, 10 years ago, when recycling markets were a lot more robust and stable, a portion of the recycling funds paid for the household hazardous waste collection activity. When the markets crashed about 5 years ago, we went through a number of years where there was little to no money coming into the recycling fund. And at that point, the cost for running the household hazardous waste was switched over to as a portion of the annual rate package so that it could be financed. Obviously, we'd love it if recycling markets came back and the recycling markets could go ahead and cover the cost of it again, but we don't really know what's going on in the future. I think at this point, it seems to have a kind of a bookmark in the rate structure and just kind of its own portion within the rate structure. So if I may, at this particular point for where we're at, it sounds like to the greatest extent possible, the commission would like the household hazardous waste program to stay as much as possible the same as it is today, with the exception of being in a position to be able to add additional collection activities. Am I missing anything on the comments that have been presented? Okay, well, I definitely appreciate that input to that point, recognizing that I am going to bring this up again on the agenda next month. So you have a month to kind of think about anything else that might be useful. But I do appreciate that starting input on this activity because it is something that's extremely beneficial to everyone, to our service provider, Republic Services, because it takes things out of the trucks that potentially can ignite and cause major disruptions. It's good for us as ratepayers, and then it doesn't, it reduces the potential for a issue up the landfill that would have to be remediated in the future. And it's just a convenient service for us to kind of bring things around in a way where they might be beneficial. I know in my personal experience over the last couple of weeks, I've had a number of spent batteries, whether they be a small lead acid one that was in a hedge trimmer, or a NiCad battery from a weed eater, or a lithium ion battery from a laptop. All of them had lost their ability to recharge. And I suspect all of those probably kind of go into a place where the relative minerals can go ahead and be recovered rather than, but anyway, it's been a good service to me, and I think it's one that the community thanks us for regularly. So with that, unless there's any further comments at this time, we'll just go ahead and continue this on till September. So we'll move on to stakeholder updates. Is there anything that Republic Services wants to bring up to us at this point?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just an update on the transfer station remodel. It looks like we're all on track for that opening in October. So unless there's something different, nope. So it'll be highly efficient. It'll really increase throughput, and it's a big upgrade and preparing for the future. Excited about that. Thank you. Did you have it?
Thank you. And not recognizing any of our other providers, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the reminder for the next meeting. The next meeting is September 27th of 2023. As always, if there's some subjects you want us to go ahead and bring up and consider, go ahead and pass them back to Sayard or myself. And I see that we have some presented information. So I'm going to turn it over to Sayard and or Commissioner Larson to go ahead and add anything you may think you want to add.
So we have two artists. This is artist number 1, and then we have 2 pictures from artist number 2. I think they might be bicycle spokes. I don't have the written up thing of what she or he put down.
Gears.
Just said recycled bicycle parts in their documentation.
And then these other 2 are from a different artist.
And on this one, she says she created the piece on a picture frame backed with chicken wire, fireworks banner, water tower, and the family are all made from aluminum and soda cans. That second piece. I think both excellent submissions. We're pleased with that.
I know from my own personal perspective, I'm very impressed with the submissions for first year and glad to have seen them and glad that we had participation. And it's obviously exciting to kind of do a different outreach activity. And we're all kind of learning a little bit about this, but if it continues to be a pleasant experience, I think we'll be happy to go ahead and talk about expanding it. With that, that completes everything on our agenda. Kind of give you a little bit of a break. Normally, we never know how long we're going to need for the fee proposal. And so sometimes that carries over from July into August. This year, it's been a little bit more per formula. So give you a little bit of a break. We'll go ahead and wrap up the meeting. And unless there's any further comments, then I will go ahead and call the meeting adjourned. It is 4:35 p.m.